Good afternoon, fellow patriots. The Conservative Patriot here. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Happy Sunday to all you. I'm sure you've wondered by the name of this title. Yes, it's time we defeat these New World Order entities. Today, I'm going to give you some light on that. Because we all know what their plan is. It's to be a one world government. And so I was browsing the internet. Looking for some stuff, and I think I finally found some stuff here that's gonna blow the lid off this thing. Hey, Adrian Murray, hello. I just seen you at Citizen Man's stream. Very well done, well put together. It was an awesome stream by Citizen Man. Basically, this whole thing goes back to 2009, the Obama era. And there's some truth to all this. All right, so we're gonna watch a clip here. I want you guys to make.
But then there are the things you do because it's your passion. The things that fire you up in the morning, that drive you, that you truly believe will make a real difference to the country you love. And my great passion is building the big society, the big society, the big society, the big society. To take this opportunity to explain some of the real practical steps that we are taking to help.
Now, this is absolute truth of what's happening right now. You are seeing this in California, Baltimore. This is exactly what they want. They want poverty. And this video pretty much explains all that. And I got another one after this that I definitely want you guys to take a look at. All right, let's continue.
Make the big society a reality. But before I get into the details, let me briefly explain what the big society is and why I believe it's such a powerful idea. You can call it liberalism, you can call it empowerment, you can call it freedom, you can call it responsibility, but I call it the big society. The big society is about a huge culture change where people in their everyday lives, in their homes, in their neighborhoods, in their workplaces, don't always turn to officials, local authorities or central government for answers to the problems they face, but instead feel both free and powerful enough to help themselves and their own community.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, east and west, north and south, can prosper and live in harmony. 100 generations have searched for this elusive path to peace, while 1,000 wars raged across the span of human endeavor. And today that new world is struggling to be born. A world quite different from the one we've known. A world where the rule of law supplants the rule of the jungle. A world in which nations recognize the shared responsibility for freedom and justice. A world where the strong respect the rights of the weak. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future.
We have confidence because freedom is the permanent hope of mankind, the hunger in dark places, the longing of the soul. When our founders declared a new order of the ages, when soldiers died in wave upon wave for a union based on liberty, when citizens marched in peaceful outrage under the banner Freedom Now, they were acting on an ancient hope that is meant to be fulfilled. History has an ebb and flow of justice, but history also has a visible direction set by liberty and the author of liberty. When the Declaration of Independence was first read in public and the Liberty Bell was sounded in celebration, a witness said it rang as if it meant something. In our time, it means something still. America in this young century proclaims liberty throughout all the world and to all the inhabitants thereof. Renewed in our strength, tested but not weary, we are ready for the greatest achievements in the history of freedom. May God bless you, and may He watch over the United States of America.
Gordon Brown will today call on fellow world leaders to seize the opportunity created by the worldwide economic crisis to create a truly global society. The Prime Minister will use a high-profile speech in the City of London to say that Britain, the US and Europe should join together to create a new, stronger and more just world order.
What we need is, rather than to say, let us fix the immediate currency problem, is to have some general discussion of where the world economy will be going and what we all have to do over a period of time. How do we handle the question of proliferation in a long-term sense? And I'm quite optimistic because the Chinese, in my opinion, have concluded that they need a long period of cooperation with the United States for their own development. We have concluded that we have enough problems in the world without taking on confrontations with China. So the tone of what both sides are saying is extremely positive. So we are starting from a rather strong position. We have a lot of huge problems. We have the nuclear problem in Korea. We have the nuclear problem in Iran. We have, of course, the whole array of problems, each of it in Afghanistan and so forth. But then we have the financial issues. But they really are issues of the construction of a new world order. That's what this is about. And that's the sort of dialogue the Chinese are generally good at. And so a partnership between us is essential. A conflict between us is going to exhaust us both in tactical exercises that cannot be conclusive.
And the New World Order could satisfy both.
It has to satisfy both, because otherwise it will lead to tensions that will exhaust us both.
Vice President Joe Biden calls the newest graduates of the Air Force Academy strategic thinkers as well as warriors, and the future of the New World Order.
It allows us to refocus our intelligence and military assets and resources to other parts of the world where they are needed.
where we face new challenges. This is the world you are graduating into. This is what I want to talk about today with you for a few minutes. I believe we, and particularly you, your class, has an incredible window of opportunity to lead in shaping a new world order for the 21st century in a way consistent with American interest and the common interest.
During an event honoring the 223rd anniversary of Poland's constitution last night, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel said we are seeing a new 21st century world order being built, and although there are conflicts and complications, there's still hope.
I think what's more hopeful, and maybe than any other time in the history of the world, is that we have more opportunities, and more possibilities, and more resources. We meet here at a moment of testing for Europe and the United States, and for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. I congratulate you on taking your place on the long gray line. The world is changing with accelerating speed. This presents opportunity, but also new dangers. It will be your generation's task to respond to this new world.
Over the last 2 years, journalists and activists have been fighting a specific provision in the annual National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, through a lawsuit called Hedges v. Obama. It's called Section 1021B, otherwise known as the Indefinite Detention Clause, which gives the U.S. military the right to indefinitely detain U.S. citizens anywhere in the world, including right here in America.
This not only attacks your First Amendment rights, it attacks your Fifth Amendment rights, your due process clause, because this gives not the U.S. government, but the U.S. military the right to detain you and indefinitely with no due process.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
And when I was in America, I don't often say this, but I might as well say it here tonight. My driver, who has carried all the prophetic preachers across America before me, told me, he said, every time we get to a bridge, you watch. And we went through 38 states in 2.5 weeks. And every bridge we went near, there were men working underneath it, putting in steel girders. He said, that is for the United Nations tanks that are going to come in and take over America shortly. Is everybody clear what I'm saying tonight? This goes on tape. The whole of America will be inundated with United Nations troops. In fact, they're training now.
Heavy artillery rocked downtown Tampa today as the military gunships and helicopters roared by the convention center. Now, this was all part of the annual Special Forces Operations Convention. While it wasn't a real invasion, Chris Trankman says it looked about as real as it could get.
This was different. This was a first for me. Usually no one sees what we do.
The display featured Apache helicopters speeding overhead, while bigger Black Hawk choppers carried highly trained operatives as part of a make-believe invasion.
In the distance, they must travel to the target.
I might have to mute that part. This copyright. Oh, hold on. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I gotta be careful here, so. Gotta be very careful there. Come on, you. Hold on, guys. Might have to refresh. Hold on. There we go. See if this works. Should. Give it a minute.
The ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip, and you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do,
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all the money in those chips, and they control the chips and they control people. And you become a slave, you become a serf to these people. That's their goal, that's their intentions.
Eric, can you be specific about when you met Rockefeller, how it happened in these discussions?
I met Rockefeller through a female attorney I knew who called me up one day and said, one of the Rockefellers would like to meet you. I made a video called Mad as Hell, and he'd seen the video and wanted to meet me and knew I was running for governor of Nevada. So sure, I'd love to meet him. And I met him and I liked him. And he was a very, very smart man. And we used to talk and share ideas and thoughts. And he's the one who told me 11 months before 9/11 ever happened that there was going to be an event. Never told me what the event was going to be, but there was going to be an event. And out of that event, we were going to invade Afghanistan to run pipelines from the Caspian Sea. We were going to invade Iraq, you know, to take over the oil fields, establish a base in the Middle East, and make it all part of the New World Order. And we go after Chavez. World Order, and we go after Chavez in Venezuela. And sure enough, later, 9/11 happened. And I remember he was telling me how how you're gonna see soldiers looking in caves for people in Afghanistan and Pakistan and all these places, and there's gonna be this war on terror, of which there's no real enemy, and the whole thing is a giant hoax, but it's a way for the government to take over the American people.
He told you it was going to be a hoax.
Oh yeah, there's no question. He says there's gonna be war on terror, and he's laughing. There's no who are we fighting? I mean, why do you think 9/11 happened, and then nothing's happened since then? Do you think that our security is so great here that these people who pulled off 9/11 were able to can't knock down another plane? Come on, it's ridiculous. 9/11 was done by people in our own government and our own banking system to perpetuate the fear of the American people into subordinating themselves to anything the government wants them to do. That's what it's about, and to create this endless war on terror. And that's why and that was the first lie. And the next lie was going into Iraq, to get Saddam Hussein out with his weapons of mass destruction. That was the next lie.
Now, specifically, this was a little over 6 years ago.
This was
11 months before 9/11.
Yeah.
And Nick Rockefeller, who's a lawyer, he's become your friend over the previous years, and he's saying to you that there's going to be this big event, and then out of that we're going to have a war on terror, and it's just going to go on and on.
Right. An endless war on terror without any real enemy. That you can never define a winner.
And did he say that it's going to be perfect because you can't define an enemy? It just goes on?
Because you can't define a winner. There's no one who's on to beat, so it goes on and on forever. And they can do whatever they want. They scare the hell out of the American public. Look, this whole war on terror is a fraud. It's a farce. It's very difficult to say it out loud because people are intimidated against saying it. Because if you say it, they want to make you into a nutcase. But the truth has to come out. That's why I'm doing this interview. The fact of the matter happens to be that the whole war on terror is a fraud. It's a farce. There's a war going on in Iraq because we invaded Iraq. And people over there fighting, But the war on terror, it's a joke, And until we discover what really happened on 9/11 and who was responsible for 9/11, because that's where the war on terror emanates from. That's where it comes from. It was 9/11 that allowed this war on terror to begin. And until we get to the bottom root of 9/11, the truth of 9/11, we'll never know about the war on terror.
Aaron, you said that he was, and I think it's important, and I know this about the Rockefellers from Dr. Dennis Cuddy and many others who literally, you'll be 20 years old in a lunch line at college, and no, they were Rockefeller. And they're experts at recruiting and getting what they call players, and that clearly he was, I don't want to make it specific and just get you to reiterate what you said last night about you got 30% of the vote, you were having an effect, you made mad as hell, they knew that you'd started the Constitution Party, they knew that you were somebody who was taking action and getting things done, you'd already made some big films, had a lot of other successes,
right.
So they were trying to recruit you, and didn't it come down to the point of, hey, we are here to recruit you, and don't worry, your chip's going to say, don't mess with us, this guy's don't touch.
Yeah, yes, that did happen. I was definitely being recruited, but it's more subtle than that.
Well, in your words, just go through the process, and then what do you say?
Well, what it is remember we were friends, and we used to come to my house a lot. We'd have dinner, we'd talk, and he'd tell me about business investments that he get involved in, or they would help me with this business investment or that business investment. And was I interested in joining the Council on Foreign Relations? I would have to get a letter to join them, but was I interested in that? And just stuff, leading you on. And I used to say to him that I never really did that because
thank you so much. That says, man, awesome stream this morning, by the way.
Your ways and my ways we're on the opposite side of the fence. I don't believe in enslaving people.
And he would come back with, "Oh, I do." Or,
well, it'd be more like
it's better for them.
It's more like how do I put it? It was like, what do you care about them? What do you care about those people? What difference does it make to you? Take care of your own life. Do the best you can for you and your family. What do the rest of the people mean to you? They don't mean anything to you. They're just serfs. They're just people. You know, it was just a lack of caring, you know, and that's just not who I was. It was just sort of like cold, you know. It was just like cold, you know. And I used to say to him, what's the point of all this? You have all the money in the world you need. You have all the power you need. What's the point? You know, what's the end goal? And he said the end goal is to get everybody chipped, to control the whole society, to have the bankers, the elite people, you know, the bankers and some governor controlling the world. And they said, all the people in the Council on Foreign Relations believe this way you do. He said, no. You know, most of them believe they're doing the right thing. A lot of them believe it's better off being socialistic. You know, we have to convince people that socialism is really capitalism. Because America is becoming a socialist country. It's a communist country today. Well, one of the things they told me was that we were at the house one night, and we were talking, and he started laughing. He said, Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about? And I said, I had pretty conventional thinking about it at that point. I said, I think that women have the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they want the right to vote, you know? And he started to laugh. He said, you're an idiot. And I said, why am I an idiot? He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded women's lib, you know? And we're the ones who got all of the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. He says, and you want to know why? He said, there were two primary reasons. And one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before women's lib. And the second reason was now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. So it breaks up their family. The kids start looking at the state as the family, as the school, as the officials, as their family, not as the parents teaching them. And so those are the two primary reasons for women's lib, which I thought up to that point was a noble thing. You know, when I saw their intentions behind it, where they were coming from when they created it, the thought of it, I saw the evil behind what I thought was a noble adventure.
Crazy stuff, guys. What else is there? Ron Paul Esco, 736, 2007.
Well, the other thing that bothers me about going into war, not only is it without constitutional declaration, but we go in inevitably under the UN.
They killed Kosovo. Oh, I believe it says citizen man. I believe it.
There's no need to be
Oh, no. Welcome. She was real. That's right.
And we had a sovereign nation that protected liberty here at home, and yet traded with people and traveled and were friends with everybody. We still would not need UN, the IMF, the World Bank, the WTO, the NAFTA, or NAFTA for the New World Order.
It always does this, guys. Hold on. Oh, might be done. Oh, it is. Okay. So that's a pretty interesting bit so far, huh? Let's see if there's any more truth, any more out of there. It could be. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. Try to censor.
Hi, this is Dror Moshe Kasuto. Hey guys, Shalom Aleichem. This is the day of Lag BaOmer. Very happy to have this quiet and simple opportunity to share a few of my thoughts and certain things that are coming to my mind. I think it's the most appropriate thing in the world that we're going to continue to talk about the truth, that we will continue to be serious about understanding what really the Creator wants from us and what.
Wait, hold on. There's got to be some more. Hold on. I mean, yeah, he's right, but who would I highlight now? Let me see here. Let's try this one. Let's see what you guys think. Oh, we got Ryan Boardwell in here. Hello. All right, let's try this one. It does this all the time. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Yeah, say hello to everybody. Hold on, give it a minute. It's just being a pain in my neck, like usual. Hold on. Come on, you. Oh, they're trying to suppress me. Really, YouTube? See, they don't want the truth getting out there, do they? Come on, you. Let's try it now. Alright, good. Oh, wait, that's just a song. I'm sorry. Goodness gracious. Hold on. Let me see. All right, I want you guys to watch this one. Agenda 21.
The following video is for informational purposes. The reality of the elite secret government controlling things behind the scenes should be no secret, yet it is. The concept of a new world order is nothing new. It's been in the works for quite some time. Yet the majority of the public has no idea what's going on or why, and they are content in their bubbles.
Listen up, fuck patriots.
As a disclaimer, I must say at this point that I do not believe anything happening in current events has anything to do with fulfilling a prophecy in the Bible or any other prophetic scriptures. If that sounds insane to you, I advise you to look into preterism. It's the only thing that makes sense of the scriptures in their context and doesn't make Jesus out to be a false prophet and a liar. But that's for another video. I will include some links in the description for those who may be interested for further investigation. Information in this video is of utmost importance and should be shared with everyone. Do not take this lightly. This is real and affects all of humanity. The only way to defeat this demonic movement is by promoting awareness and preparedness. Your ignorance is their power.
I had planned another closing message, but I feel compelled to say what I'm about to say. Now, I risk sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but it's no longer a theory. What I'm about to say is fact. The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret. They have plans that are now leading us into a one-world communist government.
Listen carefully, guys.
The executive order signed by President Obama has sparked controversy on both sides of the political aisle. The National Defense Resources Preparedness Executive Order was signed quietly Friday night. It gives the president the power to control U.S. resources.
The Rules Committee is going to meet in the House. They are going to come up with a rule that makes it okay for them to do a same-day bill. So they'll pass this rule. It's, believe it or not, called martial law.
This would give the President of the United States the authority to declare basically martial law during times of peace.
There are new disturbing developments out of Washington tonight regarding the president's belief that he has the legal authority to assassinate U.S. citizens. Incredibly enough, it appears that our commander-in-chief actually believes that authority exists not only on foreign soil, but right here on American soil as well.
But Senators McCain and Levin have added this legislation, which would authorize the president to declare the entire United States of America, all 50 states and all territories, to be a battlefield, even though there's no battle, thanks be to God, going on here.
War and terror is different.
And that would authorize him to use commander-in-chief authority in the United States, to use the military to arrest people in the United States who, in the president's opinion, are enemies of the country.
Particularly to hear President Obama claim the power to keep people in prison indefinitely with no charges against them, no conviction, no sentence, just imprisonment.
Joining us now is former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino. Dan, thanks a lot for joining us. What do you mean there's no such thing as gun control, only people control? Tell me what that means.
Tucker, this is larger ideological ploy by this administration. They're not being authentic with America, whether it's the sequester, healthcare, or the gun control issue. What they do is they manipulate an emotional crisis, a national emotional crisis, to further an ideological agenda, which involves the evaporation, the slow disintegration of your civil rights, your liberties, your ability to live and let live. And it's a disturbing pattern that, frankly, is really starting to get under my skin.
The US is funneling money into tracking systems that are threatening to make the very concept of privacy a thing of the past. It could mean people's every move being used against them to keep them under surveillance.
The information age was an era nearly everybody embraced. But today's surveillance age, experts say, is a reality almost no one can escape.
David, why does the DHS need 450 million hollow point bullets?
That kind of ammo that they purchased from ATK, hollow point ammunition, as you had explained, it's designed to, tear through human flesh and then expand. It's designed to kill people. This is not the optimal kind of ammo you would buy for target practice. It's more expensive and it's more precise.
Do you think this is a sign that they're preparing for some sort of mass civil unrest?
So they have an open bid right now, DHS, for even more ammunition, for 175 million rounds of 223 caliber rifle ammo, almost identical to the ammunition used by NATO peacekeeping forces. So that's very interesting. Are they planning on some kind of widespread economic unrest in the U.S. that would require NATO forces to help us out?
$500 million in surplus military weaponry from the Pentagon, which is authorized through the Pentagon's 1033 program. During the late 70s, Congress passed legislation called Posse Comitatus, barring the military from operating on American soil. And in the early 80s, there was an effort to circumvent that in Congress by arming police with military-grade weaponry. And now we're seeing that play out in the streets. People in the inner city in the U.S. have been experiencing this. So civilians in the U.S. are now up against basically military-style policing.
The battle against terrorism involves all of us. Everybody in this country is a potential terrorist.
The Department of Homeland Security sent to law enforcement agencies across the country warning about the potential for an increase in right-wing extremist activity. It warns about groups and individuals dedicated to single issues like abortion, immigration, and gun rights.
Tonight, our focus is on every American's right to freedom of expression and freedom of religion. It's the Christians who are under siege by government officials and anti-religion groups who think Christmas and Christianity have no business in the public arena.
The Department of Defense has just issued a new list of extremists that should be watched. And on that, in fact, number one, past the Muslim Brotherhood and past Hamas, Hezbollah, number one, evangelical Christians.
We begin tonight with a newly leaked U.S. Army military police training manual for what they are calling civil disturbance
operations. The Army manual outlines the plan to kill rioters and demonstrators in America. That's right, they have plans to confiscate our firearms and kill American citizens on U.S. soil. This during a mass civil unrest, I guess, shooting innocent civilians perhaps. And it goes on to describe how prisoners will be processed through internment camps. Wow. So there you have it. Our own military being trained for armed conflict with U.S. citizens. We're being trained to confiscate our guns in preparations to process us into camps during civil unrest.
A pretty scary scene along the Chicago River turns out to be a military training exercise.
There was nothing routine that folks reported about seeing the jarring, as they witnessed the jarring scene of at least 3 Black Hawk helicopters flying at times in close order formation.
Just in, a military drill in downtown Miami, complete with these Black Hawk helicopters, elite soldiers, and police officers swarming the street.
If you take a look, swing back over here. This may be involved in this training or not. Again, let me tell you what all of this is that we know of. It's a joint military training exercise involving local police, also military.
Sight of Army helicopters and the sound of gunfire created a lot of concern this afternoon in one Houston neighborhood.
There were armed men in fatigues, plenty of weapons, and what many thought were real live rounds.
This has been their plan since day one.
Fully armed Black Hawk. I told you they were coming.
So here's the article by Steve Watson. Military helicopters conduct covert exercises over U.S. bank buildings. This is all part of other drills going on to acclimate the public to being attacked by our own military that are happening here in the United States. Here it is. LAPD and elite military units conducted extraordinary counterterrorism training in the skies above downtown LA tonight.
At one point, they made what appeared to be a drop-off at a park. Within seconds of landing, the helicopter was back in the air.
It's a strange sight in the skies over Los Angeles. Military Special Forces flying a practice mission last night, and there are more exercises scheduled for today. The entire city of Boston is in lockdown. In the suburb of Watertown, police with guns drawn are searching door to door.
I mean, we had martial law up there. FBI and all these agents coming in, closing things down, going to people's houses.
See, this is what the mainstream media never tells you. Ever.
Mr. President, I do want to get right to the news of this week.
Sure.
The terrorism in Boston.
Yeah.
Many people have wondered if it took you right back to 9/11 when you heard it.
Well, at first, I was deeply concerned that there might have been a organized plot. I don't know all the facts. I don't think we all know all the facts, but I was deeply concerned that this could have been, another.
While they're doing this, they're amassing this wealth in order to redirect it towards.
This is the New World Order's plan.
And not
to take control of this
America,
country.
but globally. They want to lock down every country and force us into global governance.
Look at what's happening. Look at what they're planning to do.
A global reserve currency that is like the Bancor that the IMF has been pushing.
And those people who
have been yelling, "Oh, the UN's going to take over global
Conspiracy
government." theorists. They've been crazy, but now they're right.
Yeah, well, what Geithner said he would be open to the idea of a global currency last week.
Yeah.
Those conspiracy people had said and suggested that for years. You're not wrong.
And when massive foreign trade deals are made, they are done in U.S. dollars, which serves as the world's reserve currency. Now the UN is backing a plan to change all of that and create a new global currency.
There is a global meltdown coming. It is a global depression. And one world currency and one world financial system is the end game. China said last week they want one global currency. France said yesterday or the day before that they want one world order, a new world order at the end of this event.
U.S. State Department, the Federal Reserve, even the EPA are sending billions of dollars overseas, and many economic and political decisions made in the United States just don't benefit us. They benefit a would-be one world government. Because of the programs like this and just the fiscal conditions that we're in, it feels like there's a greater sense of urgency to get to that one world government. Do you feel like the Obama administration may actually be hitting the gas rather than the brake pedal when it comes to this?
To answer your question, absolutely. I think Obama's got his foot on the gas pedal and is going full speed ahead with taking us towards a global government.
Oil looks higher, gold looks higher, currencies look weaker, all for the reasons that we talked about before. I mean, you've got huge wage disparities. I don't know how that inevitably resolves itself. It may resolve itself in some type of a global currency crisis. And then if the global currency crisis unfolds, then inevitably you get, I guess, an alignment under a global world government, a new global currency, and a new world order.
If the feds do not stop the wild spending and do not reform Medicare and Social Security, the U.S. dollar will collapse. That means that all of our savings, all of our investments, our homes, and everything else will blow up before our eyes.
This morning on Today's Health, a computer chip that could be implanted under your skin so that doctors can quickly access your medical record. Explain to me briefly what the VeriChip is and what it is supposed to do.
VeriChip is a tiny miniaturized RFID, or radio frequency identification microchip. It's 11 millimeters by 1 millimeter. It's about the size of a grain of rice.
Well, we got one sitting there by a penny to give it a little perspective of the size. Very tiny. You implant it under the skin. How?
It gets injected, just like getting a shot of penicillin or any medicine you would get in the doctor's office. It goes in the upper right arm.
Implantable human chips. Supporters hail the technology as a medical marvel.
You have one in your arm right now.
That's correct.
Where is it?
It's in the upper right arm. It's a simple injection process.
Finding from us this evening, technology on the cutting edge. We were interested today to hear that more than 100 law enforcement officials in Mexico are having microchips implanted in their arms. The chips allow a person to be scanned.
The ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers. The whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. If you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip, and you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do.
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people, and you become a slave, you become a servant of these people. That's their goal.
Look, the CIA has done in this country, what they've done to us is unbelievable. Look at the terrorist acts that have occurred. The CIA behind most, if not all of it.
FEMA camps. We'll get to that now. Watch it.
There are more and more attempts to legitimize the use of internment camps to detain U.S. citizens in the event of unrest. We watch our leaders in Washington slowly pass bills that label ordinary Americans as thought criminals and potential domestic terrorists for simply questioning the actions of their government. We see third-party candidates and their impassioned supporters listed in secret government reports that call their allegiance into question and brand them as fanatics and extremists. FBI and Homeland Security documents classify homeschoolers, gun rights activists, some veterans, and anti-abortionists as threats against the existing social and political order, by default creating an entire nation of radicals and revolutionaries where everyone is a suspect, equally guilty until proven otherwise. And what is the solution to deal with these people? The same way as every other totalitarian regime throughout history. Marginalize their activities and lock them up. Prisons are being built, internment camps constructed, and laws passed that deal severely with anyone who dares to step out of line or ask too many questions. There are approximately over 600 prison camps in the U.S., all fully operational and ready to receive prisoners. They are all staffed and even surrounded by full-time guards, but they are all empty. These camps are to be operated by FEMA should martial law need to be implemented in the United States. The camps all have railroad facilities, as well as roads leading to and from the detention facilities.
Exactly.
Many also have an airport nearby. The majority of the camps can house a population of 20,000 prisoners. Currently, the largest of these facilities is just outside Fairbanks, Alaska. The Alaskan facility is a massive mental health camp and can hold approximately 2 million people. One possible FEMA camp has been rumored for years to be at an Amtrak train repair center located in Beech Grove, Indiana. While stories and web videos have attempted to report suspicious activities, the conclusion, when honestly investigated, is that there really is not any internment camp there. Approximately 600 employees work there daily. We uncovered no unusual buildings, equipment, or personnel.
This should scare every single American and definitely open their eyes up to what this actually is. This is Nazi-style tactics that they're going to do. Let's see if there's anything else. We got so many great, what you call it? We got so many great videos out there. It's incredible, and they've probably all been suppressed. Hold on a minute. See if I can get something. Let me see here. Yeah, they really should. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Oh, come on. Don't start with this. Hold on. Oh, darn. I had it. Crap. Hold on. There's one more thing I want to show. Oh, let's try this one.
With twice the suction of any cordless vacuum,
Override 2020. What is the problem? Oh, let's try this one.
What's going on now is this is a critical juncture. I've been doing Trends in the News as I sit part of the subscription to the Trends Journal. And I have to tell you, Jeff, in my heart, I feel that some...
Come on. Give me a minute, guys. It is stupid. Wow.
What's going on now is this is a critical...
Come on, dude. Come on.
What's going on now is this is a critical...
What is the problem?
What's going on now is this is a critical...
Hold on, guys.
What's going on now is this is a critical juncture. I've been doing Trends in the News as I sit part of the subscription to the Trends Journal. And I have to tell you, Jeff, in my heart, I feel that something terrible is going to happen very shortly.
Listen up! There is a storm coming! Like nothing you have ever seen! And not a one of you is prepared for it!
People don't seem to maybe remember, but the 30s depression, the depression in the 30s, wasn't just about a market crash. There were some people who were prepared to make money from that crash. This is not a time right now to wishful thinking the government is going to sort things out. The governments don't rule the world. Goldman Sachs rules the world.
If you try to let the finance oligarchs who created the crisis turn around and say they're the doctors who are going to get you out of the crisis, they will dig you deeper and deeper into the bottomless abyss of world economic depression, financial collapse, and disintegration.
People think about London as the great metropolis that we all know, but within it is something called the City of London. It goes back many, many hundreds of years, and it's the epicenter of the global financial system, if the truth be told.
Volatility is great for banks and professionals. Volatility is not great for the most average people.
Our job is to make money from it. And personally, I've been dreaming of this moment for 3 years. I had a confession, which is I go to bed every night, I dream of another recession. I dream of another moment like this. Why? Because
unlike most people, the banks are able to make profits as easily on the way down as they can on the way up in any given situation.
And now we sit here on the verge of a third world war, literally flirting with the end of the world as we know it. And this is being played out right before our eyes. And if we want to see the truth, if we want to understand the truth, we can see it. It's there. It's staring us right in the face.
I would say be prepared and act now. The biggest risk people can take right now is not acting.
So what'd you guys think of that?
This war for profit resulted in 58,000 Americans.
What's going on now is...
Hold on. There's got to be more about that. Come on, you're a piece of garbage. Oh.
Fellow patriots, don't be fooled. World War III won't be fought between nations like the first two, and definitely not between the USA and Russia. They know the stakes, and they're not stupid enough to risk everything. No matter how crazy Putin may try to act just to scare the West, he has so much to lose. He's the most powerful man in Russia, and he doesn't want to lose that. He'll never go as far as self-destruction. But small elite groups of trained fanatics are crazy enough to kickstart the next world war. ISIS already set foot on American soil. The 3 jihadists arrested in Brooklyn for planning a bombing are part of a larger plot. According to the FBI, there are ISIS members in every state of the Union, just waiting for a sign. But the part that the feds leave out is these fanatics planned something far worse and much more dangerous than 9/11. ISIS plots to put the entire American nation on our knees using a revolutionary weapon that could cripple the whole country. Make no mistake, ISIS isn't a rational actor like Russia. They have nothing to lose. After they decapitated Americans and set people on fire, they burned all the bridges. They either die or they destroy America. They can't do it with brute military force. We're too powerful for that. But we're defenseless against a smart bomb that's 1,000 times more damaging than nuclear devices. It's a weapon that can instantly end modern life in America by knocking out our power grid. Nothing that has electronic components will ever work again. Cars won't start. TVs, phones.
Hold on, let me see if there's something else. Oh, you just covered that, and I want to take his. All right, here we go. Let's continue. Oh wow, this is like 14 years old. You come on. Come on, you piece of junk. Let me see what we got here. Oh, this is only a couple years old. Yeah, of course, it keeps doing this. Stupid thing. Oh, this is 6 months ago. Yeah.
Are we moving towards a new world order?
God. One second, guys. A lot of videos out there, man.
Atomic scientists have moved the doomsday clock, a symbolic countdown to the end of the world, to 2.5 minutes to midnight.
It is an illusion.
on, guys. It's probably. See what we got here. Let me see here.
What is the New World Order?
The New World Order essentially is an agenda. It's a plan to unite the world into one, whether it be one world government, one world cash system, one world religion. It's all about uniting everything into one. The term itself, New World Order, may be a little misleading because this agenda has been going on for thousands and thousands of years through the various secret societies, through the bloodlines handed on down. So really, there's nothing new about it. I mean, President Bush made the term popular in the early 90s when he gave a speech saying that we need to move towards a New World Order.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
In fact, one of those speeches he gave was on September 11th, 1991, 10 years to the day that we would see the beginning of a real new world order.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order.
Why is it that there seems to be so little people who have woken up to what's going on?
Well, we're in a day and age where the conditioning is thick. I mean, the elite, when they're trying to set up this system that they're trying to do, they learned long ago that you cannot just take it by brute force. I mean, when Hitler tried to do it, just take it by brute force, it doesn't work. The people will always prevail. So they've learned their lesson, and they realize that now you have to do it through stealth, through things like propaganda and controlling the media and the education system, and basically turn it around so that the people are in complete and total acquiescence, that they will literally beg for their own enslavement practically. So most people aren't aware because of what they've learned from the media and what they learned in school. And it's amazing how quick information spreads these days. So that's probably why people have such a hard time waking up sometimes, because the conditioning runs deep. The problem is, most of the main problem is nowadays, I mean, you have a family I mean, both parents have to work just to scrape by. People don't have time to look into these things. So, and it's often a survival mechanism where people tend to be happy and comfortable in their own little comfort bubble. And to step outside of that and to have somebody suggest to you that the way things are run is not necessarily the way you think they are, it makes people uncomfortable, because now you have to admit that maybe you're wrong. You have to admit that maybe things aren't the way you thought they were. So really what people need to do is swallow their pride and seek truth honestly and unbiasedly. This agenda literally has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. It's an ancient agenda. And again, the agenda itself is to unite everything into one, whether it be the government.
What the heck is going on here, guys? What's in the chat?
The religions, all of these different facets need to be united together as one. I mean, you can just look at the history of the world, and every civilization that has ever existed has been involved with the same kind of thing. You look at the Babylonians, the Egyptians, Alexander the Great, the Romans. All of these people have wanted to rule the
Over here, so people think I'm dangerous. What? Who thinks that?
And it's really no different in our society and day and age. So yeah, it's been happening for a long, long time through the bloodlines. Again, a lot of this hidden knowledge that these people gain, they hoard it for themselves, and they pass it on through their children in order to use certain information to enslave the population. A good example is around 6,000-7,000 years ago in Egypt, when there was the Egyptian leaders would have knowledge of the eclipse and the sun cycles. The knowledge had been handed down to them from their ancestors, and they didn't know why an eclipse would happen or how, but they knew when. So they would say,
should leave.
You have to worship me as your divine leader and your God. Well, I don't want to do that. Who are you? You're just another guy. Why should I worship you? And then he would say, okay, well, if you don't want to bow down to me, then tomorrow I'll get my God to eat the sun and spit it back out. So the next day when the eclipse would happen, everyone would just marvel and say, oh my God, this guy must be our divine leader. The fact is, he's just like you or me. All he did, he was smart enough to use fear as a tactic in order to trick the people into total submission. And it's no different with today. Only today, like I said, it's done through stealth. Our current world leaders don't use the sun as fear anymore. They use terrorism, or the idea of terrorists are going to get you. And they use that in order to get the people to submit and give over their power to the state.
How would they go about doing that in this day and age, by using terrorism?
Well, they believe that it's a process that they've been using for thousands of years. It's basically order out of chaos. And the idea that death breeds life. It's just like the Egyptian leaders, once they got into power, well, what's the first thing we want to do? Well, we want to sacrifice your children to appease the gods, you know. It's order out of chaos. They believe if you can cause enough pain and wars and suffering, then out of the ashes of that will emerge their solution to this problem that they created, which is their solution would be oneness, one world, everything. That's why you see the symbolism of the phoenix a lot in their symbols, because it's the fictional bird that rises from the ashes. So that symbol is used a lot because it shows their mind manipulation technique of order out of chaos, where you create the problem.
We're in the midst of a serious financial crisis.
You get the reaction.
And we are not, as a nation, going to be able to just keep on printing money. So at some point, we're also going to have to make some long-term decisions.
Then you offer your solution to the problem that you created.
I believe that there is an opportunity now with the G20 having been called for the first time for us to put together a global steering committee of all the great powers of the world. They've I was asked, what is the single most important thing that can be done to get us out of this mess? It is going to be to recognize now that we are one common humanity, divided perhaps in economic and small country. The time has come for us to work together.
It's also known as the Hegelian dialectic, where you set up the thesis, you also set up the antithesis, so that you can offer your synthesis to the very problem and opposition that you created in the first place. So they've been using this technique, for thousands of years, and now in this day and age, it's all about terrorism. That's the way to trick the people into total submission. In this day and age, certainly to get to the point of being prime minister or president, they take people who have gone through their respective secret societies and have been indoctrinated into the idea that this is a good thing. Again, a lot of the elite that are trying to pull this stuff off, they don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. They think they're actually doing a good thing. It's like Hitler when he murdered all of the Jewish people. I mean, he was a eugenicist. I think he truly thought he was doing a good thing for the future of mankind. So it's the same with today. These guys actually believe that this is for the better. So I think only at the really highest top of the peak of the pyramid, where you have individuals who are not necessarily in the public eye and, people we've never even necessarily seen before, who are really the evil ones pulling the strings. Everyone else is kind of unwitting dupes who get sucked in, to the all boys club. You become a member of the elite and it's exciting. You get power and fame and money. And so it's attractive to a lot of them, but a lot of them don't realize their contribution to the New World Order agenda.
There you go. Oh, it's mad, Democrats. Do you get denied your witnesses? Aw, poor babies. So what did you think of that? Oops, hit the wrong button. It happens. All right, that is done. So, yeah, no problem. But this is what they plan on doing. They plan on putting concentration camps, and they're already there. And what they also want to implement is they just want to exterminate us, just like Nazi Germany during World War II. This is why President Trump is here, because he's disrupting everything that they're doing. Exactly. Oh, hold on. There we go. Oh, but that exposes a lot. This has been going on for decades. They've been playing this for a long time. Yeah, this virus is actually all manufactured. It's all man-made. Mhm. This is all manufactured by Bill Gates and his wife. Right. That's exactly what's going on. And this is why we must stand up and rise up to these people. Actually, we're actually seeing that right now, where people are waking up and saying no to this, and saying no to globalism and everything else, because nobody wants this. Like I said, like the last video the guy said, they're very stealthy, and that's true. Yep. That's why we need to keep exposing all this, because this is what they want. This is why Trump wants to get rid of the Federal Reserve, because he understands what it's really about. Let's see here. It's just like there's so many brainwashed people out there just eating all this up. Like this climate change nonsense. That's part of it. This is a scary time, but the good thing is what they don't have is there's many of us and less of them. And what you just see in those videos, hello, DeGraw. And what you just see in those videos is exactly what they plan on doing. Agenda 21 and 30. Which is why we should never vote to have a Democrat in the White House again. Because this is what they're going to push. They're going to implement this New World Order policies and just dismantle everything good President Trump's done. They don't want us to succeed. They don't want us to prosper. They want us to be miserable, not be able to. Look at what's going on in California, run by a Democrat. What's going on there? They're trying to bring all this stuff, the socialism, into this country. Yeah, 2013. Yeah, that was all staged to happen. It's actually there was a lot of people involved in that too, like John McCain. It was all staged. I mean, there's a lot of videos out there that don't feed the bots. So, yeah, that's exactly what it is. There's so much homelessness in California, Baltimore. all run by Democrats. And guess what's happening? Used to be beautiful cities, and now they're destroying them. Oh yeah. Everything that's seen there should shock everybody. Sorry, I came in at the end of the video. Oh, it's alright. Okay, you don't have to debate that. Okay, no problem. Let's see. So you guys sit there and deny this? Come on. Wait, hold on. Here we go.
Less patriotic than red states, according to a recent survey from Wallet Hub. The three least patriotic states, California, right here in New York, and New Jersey. Researchers focused on military engagement, like percentage of enlistees and veterans, as well as civic engagement, like voter turnout and volunteer hours. According to the study, the most patriotic states are New Hampshire, Wyoming, and Vermont. Hat tip to you. Joining me now, attorney, I promoted you there, Jennifer Zeider, a conservative activist in Laguna Beach, California. Thank you so much for coming on. A lot of things to discuss today. First of all, do you feel like California is not very patriotic?
I unfortunately think that there's definitely a movement towards globalism, I guess is what they would call it, that seems to leave patriotism in the dust in California.
Interesting. Although, I mean, there's so much military service in your neck of the woods that I think that's got to hurt, because I've been heals more homes for homeless, that somehow the problem seems to be increasing. I feel like when you spend money on something like that and you have beautiful Southern California, what you're doing is attracting more people who come there to live what in San Francisco was always called a lifestyle choice. I'm choosing to be homeless. What do you think about that?
I absolutely would agree. I think that our failed liberal policies, as well as our bad laws that we've passed recently, are just simply encouraging the situation. I think a study came out that city and county of LA spent over $600 million last year to fight the homeless problem.
Yes.
And it increased. It increased 12% in the county, 16% in the city, and they estimate about 60,000 homeless people currently. I think we're number one in welfare recipients in California. I think we're number one in illegal immigrants, and now we appear to be number one in homelessness. Those are trophies we don't want to collect.
Yeah. So a Democrat from Southern California was explaining to me today that the reason why that isn't because it's attracting homeless people. It's because of local and city municipal laws about permitting. That everybody has the right intentions to build more affordable housing and build more homeless shelters, but there's too much red tape in order to get that done, and that's the real problem. Do you buy that?
I don't buy that, because I don't think that's going to solve the problem. I think you have to solve the problem of homelessness and why people are continuing.
Come on. Oh. Let me see. Come on.
Help for California's homeless. President Trump reportedly sending.
Look at that. That's Los Angeles. This one? No. Oh, here it is.
Help for California's homeless. President Trump reportedly sending.
Come on, man.
In the San Francisco Bay Area, the housing crisis has become so severe that some have adopted a novel solution. They're living on boats, and not quaint boats off Sausalito or yachts. According to the Wall Street Journal, about 100 people are living on a ragtag flotilla of barges, sailboats, and other vessels the paper describes as, quote, decrepit. They aren't all vagrants. Some hold jobs. One woman bought a boat for $15,000 because rent for her studio apartment had grown to $3,000 a month. Do the math, it'll pay for itself in less than half a year. It might sound like an adventure, but it's also third world. Just like tent camps, most boats are not designed to be lived on permanently. During storms, they can endanger lives and cause damage, huge amounts of damage. These flotillas are illegal, by the way, but it's like exploding housing prices. Bay Area government doesn't seem very interested in it or serious about fixing it. Whether it's San Francisco or New York or Seattle, when you think of homelessness, you think of major cities. But the homeless crisis is not limited to big population centers. Some of the hardest hit places are small cities and towns, where even a small homeless population can put massive strain on public service. For the latest installment in our series, Homeless in America, our producer Charlie Cougar went to Oregon, where one small charity is fighting to improve a desperate situation in Eugene. Watch. Our first stop in Portland, Oregon wasn't meant to be work-related. It was for breakfast at an upscale bakery near the city's fashionable Pearl District. But when we arrived, we found this, a homeless man rifling through a trash can. In the parking lot, a dirty syringe. Homelessness in Portland looked a lot like what we'd seen in other cities. Lots of tents, lots of drugs. The city's permissive culture, its temperate climate, and generous social services attract vagrants and addicts from around the country. We met a woman called Liberty Hope at a cloverleaf off Interstate I-5. She says she came to the West Coast because she needed medical treatment for her leukemia. She moved to Portland after police in Washington State towed her motorhome.
They illegally towed my motorhome. They didn't even have a tent. I got out where there was nowhere to go. But I couldn't leave because I still had treatments I had to do.
Hope says she's blessed because the city shuttles her between a medical clinic and her tent. She hopes to get back to her home state of Montana once she's healthy again. How long do you think you'll be here?
I'm not too sure. I broke my foot this last winter, so it kind of set me back with my medical. But I'm a miracle, so every day is a miracle.
Similar tent encampments line Portland's highways. Virtually every open space in the city seems packed with people living outside and using drugs. This riverfront park downtown has a receptacle for used heroin syringes. Oregon is a relatively small state by population, but it has an awful lot of homeless people, more per capita than neighboring Washington or California. To get a sense of the scale of the problem, we drove to Eugene in the central part of the state. Eugene is a college town with the politics to match. Not surprisingly, it has an enormous homeless population. Ultimately, however, even the generosity of a place like Eugene has limits. On the night we arrived, multiple people were living in this makeshift structure. 2 days later, the city had cleared the sidewalk and put up notices that it was going to scrap the belongings inside. Eugene is trying to get a handle on its homeless problem, but there are roadblocks. A major one? A ruling by the federal Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals that has declared it somehow unconstitutional to shoo away homeless people if there's no place for them to go. Eugene's leaders have responded by trying to erect tent cities on public land. One proposal envisioned building a homeless encampment in a parking lot at the center of downtown. So far, those efforts have failed. A local charity called St. Vincent de Paul has stepped in with its own solution.
This tent is a MASH tent. It's a structure that was used by the military in some of our foreign deployments.
Other cities on the West Coast have tried to provide housing for the homeless, usually at remarkable expense. San Jose, California, for example, is spending $37 million on a building that will house just 83 people. By contrast, St. Vincent de Paul's answer is simple and cheap.
We put this whole section of tents up with a work crew in one day.
Residents are assigned a bed and given a place to store their belongings. They're expected to make their beds every day to instill a sense of pride and self-worth. The shelter is open to anyone, including drunks and drug users. Those who stay get treated for addiction. The strategy essentially is the opposite of what cities like Seattle and San Francisco are doing. St. Vincent de Paul's goal is to get people off the streets and into an environment where they might actually recover. The housing isn't meant to be permanent. St. Vincent de Paul tries to get residents cleaned up and ready for long-term housing within just a few months. For many, the strategy appears to be working.
What are the odds that in 2 years they're back on the streets? If they stay in programs and in association with people that are clean and sober, chances are pretty good that they're going to stay out.
Well, the homeless crisis appears to be getting worse pretty much everywhere in America. Rather than try to fix the problem, though, elites prefer to attack its victims. In the city of Seattle, one of the places hit hardest by this crisis, a woman has faced, believe it or not, backlash for seeking justice after she says she was raped by a homeless man with...
Well, there you go. Getting pretty bad, that's for sure. Yeah, exactly. They're in mansions while the people of California suffer. That's what they want. There you go. Do. All right, let me see here. Oh man, that's crazy stuff. See that? True that. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, stretching. That was a lot of information to take in. Yeah, that's for sure. Ugh. Du-du-du. That's right. Of course, I'm gonna dislike. Oh well. Oh man. So, what did you guys think of all that? I mean, it's pretty much exposed a lot. That's strange. Oh, oops, wrong one. There we go. That's right. Now we just obtained all that interesting knowledge about the New World Order. We definitely gotta make sure that we don't bow down to them. Because we do. I have to rewatch this. Thank you. Yeah. I should. What interesting details. What they plan to do. What's going on right now. Yeah, exactly. Goodness gracious. It's true. Reap what you sow, God is not mocked. Yeah, if the laws be found, they can choose to repent of what they have sown. All in God's timing for sure, though. And yes, the wait is difficult. Yep. Oh, wow. What an amazing stream. Yeah, 18 thumbs up. That's awesome. Anyway, let's see what we got here. we get? What do we get? Uh-huh. Today, illustrated my compliments. You have really compiled some really good stuff. Thank you, Ghost Broken. That's what I'm here to expose all this stuff, especially the New World Order, and basically what they want to do. There's actually a movie. I wish I could figure out what the movie is, but it portrays the same exact scenario. I just can't remember what it was. I watched it years ago. I'm like, whoa. And that's why I woke up and saw it, started doing my own research about all this stuff. Just that, but God's wanted to help those who can't help themselves. Yeah, that's right. But this has been their plan all along. One world government. It's all coincided. Roy Orbison. Love it. Yeah. I know what song you're talking about right there. I grew up to that one. But definitely, I hope that there's any liberals that watch this. I hope you do watch this whole thing and watch what's going on here. What's really going on. That's right. I hope every single liberal watches this live stream, a replay of this, because it all coincides with exactly what's going on here. I mean, we already knew 9/11 was an inside job. I mean, this just happened just like that. The truth is going out there, and they are afraid that the people will know the truth. Well, it's look at what happened with in the United Kingdom. They just broke free from the globalist EU. I think it was a couple of nights ago. They're out. Of course, you got the left side of take your flags with you. Just sitting there laughing like, are you kidding me? Yeah, I think he died in 88, didn't he? That's like a year before I was born. Yeah, Trevor Wilburys, yes. Good man. Yeah. Tom Petty was a part of that. George Harrison was a part of that. Roy Orbison. And what's his name? Jeff. I can't think of his last name. Oh well. Yeah, this is the lyrics of the Immigration by Led Zeppelin. I do. I listen to it all the time. Communication breakdown's always the same. Yeah. I listen to every Led Zeppelin song there is. That's for sure. But I definitely hope share this with your liberal friends. This should disturb everybody because this is their exact plan to make this whole thing a one world government. The whole thing. It's kind of like Nazi style tactics. And I know President Trump is doing everything he can to stop them. And when he was, put it this way, when he was inaugurated January 20th, 2017, the New World Order knew they were in trouble. Right from the get-go. They knew that he was a part of their establishment. The more people rise up to this, the more people have a better understanding of what's going on. Look at what, like I said, look at what happened in the UK. You see, it's so much uprising. It's phenomenal. It's unbelievable. A question of generation. Yeah. So you definitely need to do. I'm definitely going to do some more research on that. Saying there's so much truth to this. It's unbelievable. Because what we're witnessing this present time is exactly what happened during World War II. Same scenario. Now they're using new tactics to try to stuff all this stuff in. And the more people that rise up to this, it's going to destroy them. This is what they feared the most, that the uprising of the people. That's what they fear the most. Because they know once we rose up and woken up and see the reality of what their plan is, they're done. They're cooked. They're finished. Like these pointless wars that we're in. Like, why are we there? Observation that leads to understanding. Yeah, exactly. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. What the heck? But I definitely encourage you guys to share this out on all your social media. Everybody needs to know about everything that's going on, about what these elitists are trying to do. Not just here, all over the globe. Pick up, Dodge. Yeah. I can't help it. It comes out. It comes out. I can't help it. But that's what we're seeing today. Yeah. So it's up to us. Basically, what it comes down to. And I knew something was going on because I saw that when they were rolling down those tanks. I'm like, oh boy, this has New World Order written all over it. That's right. Let's just watch this stream. So that's the assignment I have for you folks out there to share this live stream out of what I just presented to you today. This is exactly what they want to do. They want to put chips in our bodies and everything else. Right. So that's your assignment, Patriots, to share this video on anything that you can, because everybody needs to know about all this. What the New World Order's plan is. Amen to that. So that's the assignment. I'm gonna bounce off here. I want to thank you all for joining. And we should let the New World Order know that we're not gonna bow down to your master. We're not gonna let you take us to our own free will. This is why, before I go, this is why the Democrats are doing what they're doing, because they're following the New World Order's footsteps. You understand? They're following the same thing that they fall in line to what they're doing. Because they want open borders, they want to take away your guns so you can't defend yourself, and they want to take your right, shred the Constitution, acting like it never even existed. See that? Mm-hmm. And it's so great to see that so many people are rising up to this. They're saying, no, we don't want this. And no, you're not going to do this. So that is why, well, I've been saying this for so long, but that's why they want to impeach President Trump, because they know he's not part of the establishment, the New World Order's agenda. He's following the will of the American people, put America first. So the Democrats are going to try everything they can, but they will not succeed. And they won't be there after November 2020. And the only solution to this is we stand against this. That's my solution. evil will come. Yeah, exactly. So what? Yeah, definitely. When I was watching that, I was like, huh, I wonder if the Democrats are part of this strategy too. Why else would you think the Democrats are spewing hatred for this president and want to confiscate your guns and want to take away your rights as an American citizen? It all interconnects with their plan. Trump is the disruptor in this whole thing. He got in the way of their plans. And when he said that they're not after me, they're after you, which is us, the American people. He says, I'm just getting in the way of that. People need to wake up. It's time to walk away from the Democrat Party. Because they are just so involved in this than anybody else. That's why they're spewing all this hatred, this division, and everything else, because that's exactly what the New World Order wants. It all interconnects. They want to try to tear this country apart. Let us be at each other's throats. And they just want to destroy this country from within. And it's never going to happen. Oh, let's crack my back. This is what's happening. This is exactly why the Democrats are behaving the way they are, because they are part of that class. They are part of the New World Order. The Democrat Party is part of the New World Order. They want to dismantle everything. Let's see. Oh, yeah. God put President Trump in this position for a reason. There's a reason why he was put here in the White House. It's a lot more than we can understand. This is why it's so important that we keep him in here so he can continue disrupting their plan. After that, though, we really got to pay attention and really focus on how we can stay a prosperous nation. We're in crazy times, folks, but I'm glad I could get on here and expose all this, what the New World Order represents. You see it right there. They have concentration camps all over the country. In Alaska, Illinois, everywhere. Because they get ready to move into position to execute Christians and conservative views. They basically want to shut us up by Oh yes, I understand that, Rasta, but God has an important role in that too, And yeah, I do agree with you. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Because the people are sick and tired of our failed politicians making broken promises and saying that they're going to do this, do that, and guess what? So that's your homework, Patriots. Share this out with all everybody. Everybody needs to get on this all around the globe because this should concern everybody. It's not just going to happen here. It's going to happen everywhere. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming in. He's there for a lot more. Yeah, that's right. So share this far and wide on all your social media. The whole world needs to know what took place here today. And definitely share Citizen Man stream too. He blew the lid off of it as well. There's another fine, awesome patriot. So be sure you check out Citizen Man's take on it too. I mean, hers are different from different. I hope they are. What but these people need to be exposed for who they really are, and they are. I mean, you're seeing it in the Democrat Party. Come on now. President Trump is a disruptor. He's disrupting their plans. So as long as we have him in there, he's going to continue to dismantle it. Blessings, my friends. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, he hasn't done just that. He's done other things. He's created 7 million jobs, manufacturing jobs to come back here to the U.S. where they should be. And everything is made in America. That's how it should be. We shouldn't be, taking products from other countries that are basically crap. Well, we have our own resources here. Trump is trying to open the doors to all that. Whoopsie. These are crazy times we're living in, folks, but we must be ready. We must be ready. Because I'll think for a second that they can spare liberals, because they ain't going to spare nobody. So, I encourage all of you, if you're out there listening, to watch this live stream and watch Citizen Man's broadcast. Bless CP. Thank you so much, guys, for the prayers. It's awesome. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The words of our Lord. Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, guys, it's been a fantastic stream, man. I exposed a lot in this. It's not a surprise. Actually, I did tell you guys, but you guys that are new to the channel probably don't know this. Back in 2010, yeah, 2010, I was at my sister's house, and this guy was passing out these DVDs. It said, "Watch this." So we did, and I couldn't believe it. It exposed the New World Order, the government corruption within our government, and that how we're going to rise up and defeat them. I honestly don't know what happened to that, because it was so true, and that opened my eyes to what was really going on. I'm like, whoa. I actually saw the guy the day after. I was like, thank you so much. He goes, I mean, they put that on everybody's car. Everybody that was visible. I saw it at everybody's car. Everybody's like, what is this? I was like, watch it. Which one? Drunk. Yeah. Too funny. We are put in a position where we now have the power. President Trump is trying to get that back to us, but I think we're going to see that on November 3rd, 2020. We're going to have full control of this country again. And that's how it should be. Not our government, not these, not the Democrats, not the Republicans, us. This is how it should be. Our forefathers warned us about this tyranny, this government corruption, way before all this happened. Single mom stuck at home with a health issue and needs treatment. I need God to direct me to his resources. Oh. Yeah, definitely send those prayers upon Adrian, guys. That's never fun to deal with. I definitely pray to the Lord that He gives you healing. And anything that Satan is trying to do, it will not work against that. And I definitely believe you'll be in good health very soon. Who? Wait, who deleted who? That's right, we are prayer warriors here. I don't know what message he's referring to. Oh, Miss Mary's in the house? Oh, I must have missed that. Hold on. What the heck? How come I'm not seeing her? Oh, there she is. I don't know how that happened. Me either. Nobody here did it, right? I know I didn't. That was... okay. Well, all right. Will do. Boom. There you go. All right. Hopefully it's music related, because, yeesh. Yeah, I mean, I've been meaning to do that. I just haven't gotten around to it. I was like, where'd she go? I'm like, oh, darn. Oops. Yeah, it happens. Oh, what a crazy time to be alive. But that's for sure. Anyway, guys, I gotta get out of here. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And God bless all of you. God bless all of you. God bless the duly elected President Donald John Trump. And God bless America. It's time to defeat the New World Order and let them know we will not bow down to them. It's time to rise up and hold these people accountable. Let's go. Stay in the fight, Patriots. Huzzah!